Throughout urban centers across Canada, public parks are being taken over by the homeless. They're building tents. In Toronto the other day, a woman said she lives in an apartment. She relies on the park to take her children out, and someone threw a fire extinguisher at her from their tent saying, "Get off my front lawn." Kim Wright lives in Toronto in an apartment. She joins me right now because I want to find out your views as to this appropriation for private purposes, I put it, of public property. People can't even let their kids go because there's needles all around. Is that correct? Is that right?
I think there's a lot of things to unpack within that.
Yes.
One of the things that we haven't done in this country, and certainly in the city for a long time, has been actually investing in a lot of either both Toronto community housing or variations of affordable housing.
And many of these people don't want to live in community housing. They want to be out in the tent.
There are lots of people who may or may not choose to come indoors. But the vast majority of what we talk about in terms of people who are experiencing homelessness, many of them have had trauma in their lives. Many of them have mental health struggles. We need to make sure that there's not only housing, but supportive housing to go with it.
Yes, because you put your finger on it. There's a lot of drug problems, alcohol problems, and mental illness problems, and they should not be out. If they are suffering from that, they should be treated. They should be helped by society.
I think at the end of the day,
putting them in a tent is not helping them.
I think what we all forget is that regardless of whether you are homeless or not, there are lots of people who are suffering from mental illness and addiction problems. And I think those things are very separated out. And I think what we need to make sure of is that people are getting the services that they need, regardless of their housing situation. We also need to solve the housing situation.
So is allowing them, though, to sit in a tent in a public park helping them?
Stephen, I don't think when I listen to people in East York say, I don't want to have housing built here because the parking lot is the hub of our community, helps the situation either. We need to build housing. We need to get those red tape out of the way to actually build housing. And people need to dial back their NIMBYism.
Well, it's more than housing, though, too.
But
it's
there
treatment.
is a lot of far too much NIMBYism that happens. I want to absolutely help people, but maybe not on my way to school or on my way to work or on the way to my kids' programming. At the end of the day, we all have a responsibility to help our fellow citizens.
And would you agree with me then that the three levels of government, municipal, provincial, and federal, are not doing what they should be doing?
Absolutely.
And we have people with needles in public parks.
Look, we need to have a better coordinated strategy instead of everyone coordinating on finger pointing.
Finger pointing at you, you're absolutely right. Kim Wright, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
3 minutes. Our Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, recently stood up in the House of Commons and prefaced his remarks by saying, "And we will only work from the facts," quote, unquote, and then proceeded to lie by saying Britain was in a horrible, horrible third wave, trying to show, in fact, that Canada was not the worst in the world. Britain, though, had vaccines. Canada did not. And this was not reported in the mainstream Canadian media, the media paid for by Justin Trudeau. All of which, I'm telling you, is that it's important to have this 3-minute interview. Please subscribe, ask your friends to subscribe, and press that PayPal thing so we can continue on to bring you the news you otherwise might not know.